This is the packet tracer exercise question 1, right? And which we are asked to, we're given an IP address of 192.168.5.0, or I should say a subnet, right? And we're asked to create 11 more subnets from this the subnet or IP address we're given. Right, as you can see here, we have a router, and we got 4 different network setup, each with a switch and 3 PCs. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and configure the switch. Right, in the meantime, while I'm configuring the switch, I'll just explain what we're supposed to do. So we're supposed to assign addresses to the interface PC and get the lowest address for the subnet routers. Right, so the PCs get the lowest address on the subnet and the routers get the highest address. Right, and then we're asked to build the networks accordingly. Alright, so I've already done out the subnet in here. The steps, well, I just borrowed 4 bits from the host portion and added to the network portion, which was 24 bits initially, and with that additional 4 bits added, it gives us a /28 mask, right? And I have all the different subnet addresses. So I'm just going through the CLI command, right, to set the IP addresses for the router. Right, so earlier on I had just changed the card to accumulate 2 more fast Ethernet ports. Right, so we're now assigning the IP address, which would be for the subnet mask for the first network, which would be 192.168.5.14. Right, and subnet mask is 255.255.255.240. Yeah, and now we're gonna assign the second IP address, the interface for fast Ethernet 0/1. And enter 0/1. And the IP address for this one for fast Ethernet 0. Sorry, I made an error. It should be IP address .192.168.5, and we're using the second subnet, or the last host address for the second subnet, which would be .30 subnet mask 255.255.240. We're also going to assign the next one, interface at fast Ethernet .1/0, and the IP address is 192.168.5. and we're using the last for the third subnet, which is 46. The subnet mask is the same, 255.255.240. Alright, and interface for the last one, right? And yeah, the IP address for that one is 192.168.5.62, as we can see here, right? And same subnet mask. Right, so now we do a no shutdown. Alright, and then we'll exit, then exit again, and then we'll write to memory. So all the subnet addresses should be configured for the router. If we go now into config mode to check, right, so we go fast Ethernet 0, so go fast Ethernet 0/1, 1/0, and 1/1. right? We just have to turn those on for the others because we didn't do a node shutdown for to actually turn on those ports, right? So now everything is on. It's just to close this off. Right, so we have everything set up. As you can see, I already set up the IP addresses underneath each device. So we go in the cable, fast Ethernet 0, right? The switch, we're using a copper cable, fast Ethernet 0 to port 1/1, fast Ethernet 0 to port 2/1. Same thing here. Because the process is the same, I'm just going to speed it up for the rest of the devices after I complete this one here. Alright, so we're just going to speed it up. Alright, yeah. So going back to the explanation of how we did the subnetting. Right, so we needed 11 subnets. What we did, we multiplied 2 to the power of 4, which would give us a total of 16 subnets. So that's the formula. Because if we did 2 to the power of 2, we will only get 8 subnets, which is not enough. We're asked for 11, right? And that allowed us to get 16 subnets in total, each having a total of 14 hosts. Right, so I'm now just running the cable here from the switches, right, using fast Ethernet here to fast Ethernet 1/0, and the last switch, copper cable again, fast Ethernet 3/1 to fast Ethernet 1/1. Alright, now we're just going to add the IP addresses. I just fast forward so all the connections are established. Now we're going to add the IP addresses for the first PC. Alright, so desktop IP config. Alright, we're going to set the IP address here. It's going to be 192.168.5.1, right? Because we're using the first host IP address for the PCs. That's what we're asked to do. And we're putting the subnet mask as 255.240, and the default gateway is the same gateway that we set for the router. The IP address we set for the router connection. This one, which is 168.5.14. Right, so we've set this one up, and we'll do the same thing for PC2. Right, and 192.168.5.2.240, and the default gateway is 192.168.5.14. Right, so that's it for PC3. There's 192.168.5.3. Same thing here again. 240, and default gateway is the same. 192.168.5.14. Okay. Same thing here. IP address is 192.168.5.17. 240 again. Right, default gateway is 192.168, so we just speed it up here because it's the same process. Alright, so 240, 30, this one 19, 240. Alright, so you just speed up the process for these. This one, the default gateway is 62. Right. completed. Should be the last one, 46. 24. Right. And so we've completed everything. Now it's time to test. So let's try restart for PC1 and see if we can ping every other PC on the network. Let's see if we're able to get connection. So we'll start by pinging PC2. Just 92.168.5.2, and it was successful. Now we're gonna ping PC3 192.168.5.3, and ping was successful. Now let's try pinging in the other subnet. Alright, so we're pinging 192.168.5.17. Alright, and successful. 192.168.5.18. Successful as well. We're paying 192.168.18. And this was successful as well. Alright, so we'll move on to network 3. We're gonna ping 192.168.5.33. Right, and this was successful. Okay, and we'll just move all the way down to the fourth network, and we'll just ping the last PC 192.168.5.51. And okay, it was successful. So we just completed our packet tracer assignment. We set up, subnetted the subnet into all and connected